Hi, Internet.
Yo!
We're back again.
Are any of us really back?
I mean, we never really left.
This is true.
It's just the new week, so.
And a new role.
In a new role, we're going to talk about Magician today. And a few other ones today, but this video is about Magician. We'll get to that one in a minute.
So, editing Ryan here. Totally forgot to say we're doing a podcast and we're editing the first episode now. It should be up on Monday morning at around 6 a.m. Eastern time. We'll put the link down in the description below. Sorry about that. Now, back to the video.
So this role is going to have 6 learning paths.
Yeah.
We've got Misdirection, Mannequins, Clairvoyance, Conjuration, Mind Control, Mayhem.
Mayhem's cool. I like
It's
Mayhem a
fun.
lot. It's
and
one of my favorite
of course, Legendaries.
Yeah. So yeah, let's just jump right into it. The first one, Misdirection. This is all of your misdirection.
Over there! But over there!
Exactly. Magic tricks, mesmerize, over there, mirage, and invisibility. Some of these are exactly how they sound, like invisibility. There's no real reason to talk about it. You spend some AP, you turn invisible, you can turn your buddy invisible. That's it.
Yep. Mirage, it's like a mirage, but you basically just make it happen.
Look, there's a castle. That's
Over there.
Mirage. Yeah,
Hurt that thing instead of me.
exactly. The one caveat to over there is it has to, whatever you're telling to target something else, what you're telling it to target, it has to consider hostile.
Yep. Has
So-
to be bad.
Target A, or enemy A is targeting you. They cannot target enemy B if they're on the same team. But they can target Bob.
Yep. Or anything that's just like, I don't like that. I want to fight it.
Exactly.
Yeah. And magic tricks, you make sounds. You can do like touches. Prestidigitation, 100%.
I hate that word.
Yep.
Mesmerize.
Shiny things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's all it is.
Yep.
And whenever the shiny things disappear, it goes, wait, those weren't real.
Yeah. Oh, yep. Snap back to reality.
Yeah. Well, there goes gravity.
I'm leaving that in. So then we got mannequins.
Mannequins is weird. We had a conversation about it. We don't like the word mannequins here, but we understand why they used it. Or we don't like a different word inside of that on one of the abilities.
I think they're using mannequins because they're basically going off the idea kind of like a statue, or like when you think of like a mannequin in a window kind of thing. But within this path, we've got splitting image. You make copies of yourself. Guide flips a coin. If you get lucky, they hit one of the 2 images instead.
Yeah.
Then you've got Phantom Menace, not like the Star Wars movie.
No.
You basically
super fun.
I'm gonna create something that I'm gonna pull out from your mind that really annoys you, like a fly or a gnat, and you're just gonna start swatting it around
For 10 minutes.
Yep.
It's a really cool lockdown ability. The last one is illusory creature. It's not. It says that it's an illusion, but you can interact with it. It has physical form. It actually exists.
Yep. It can be anything that you've essentially made up, a creature you've made up, but for a little bit of extra AP, you can pretty much clone something.
Yeah.
So that one's pretty cool. Then we've got Clairvoyance. You've got Magic Eye, which is going to be some like detect magic, seeing through things kind of stuff, knowing when things are fake.
Detect magic or see-through illusion.
Yeah.
That's the 2 big ones.
And then you've got Whisper, which is like message in D&D. You basically kind of have a telepathic connection to somebody that's very close to you.
Short-range telepathy.
Yep. And if you spend a couple extra, you guys can have a conversation for up to a minute. And then message is kind of the same thing, but they can be far, far away.
Yeah.
The book does say that you kind of need to know kind of like where they're at and be familiar with them.
Unless you want to spend AP, and if you want to spend AP, then they can be anywhere.
And then you got Interpret.
Interpret's
Inside
cool.
your brain, I want to know your language. Boom. For 10 minutes. Then we can have a conversation.
Or, if you're lucky and you want to play some charades, you can just learn the language permanently. Insight, it's the gimme clue of this one.
Yeah, I want to get inside your brain and I want to know what you're up to, what you've done, or what you're going to do.
Yeah, it's 100% the gimme clue of this one.
When I was reading this, I thought very much of like Unbreakable, like the touch thing, where he's kind of just like, whoa.
Yeah, it's a good one. After Clairvoyance, you go into Conjuration. This is just little conjuration tricks, except for one's huge. Little bird, it's your alarm. It's your tripwire. You summon a little bird, you set it wherever you want it, and then whenever a trigger that you set happens, it wakes you up and lets you know.
And you can communicate with this little guy too.
Yes.
It's kind of neat.
Fantastic Feast. This one feels almost out of place to me in this class as a whole. You summon a grand feast, including furniture and whatever else you might need to feed people. It'll feed up to 20 people. And you get 4 HP back from it, but the AP cost on this is big enough that it makes me go, seems a little out of place here.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I can see like it being kind of like a big deal. Like say you're like in just this epic fight and everybody's been beat to crap, right?
But you have to have time to eat.
Maybe it's your downtime. Maybe you've chased off the baddies for a little bit. Maybe you got to recuperate. But the AP burn for it is heavy.
Is the hard part.
It's
because
heavy.
even if you use it on a short rest where you would have the time, it takes you from being at 5 HP to being at 9 HP, right? But then you burn all that AP that you don't get back. Beyond that, you have Monitor. This is kind of like your little bird, only it's mobile. So it's essentially a creature that you conjure up that kind of floats in front of you, and you can send it around corners to check things out. It sends back a telepathic imaging kind of thing.
Yeah, you can kind of map out the area and stuff like that.
It's very much like the Spy's Seeker.
Yeah, actually, that's a very good way to put it.
The big difference is this one, the only people that can see it are people that you want to see it.
Yeah, because it's invisible to reality.
Everything else, yeah.
And then you've got one that's really dope, which is Shadow
so cool.
Haven. This one's rad. Basically, the entire idea behind it being you basically touch a building and basically you make a carbon copy essentially of whatever is inside of it, but that copy is in a shadow plane. The only way to get to that shadow plane is through basically a door, and you get to choose who can go through that door and
who has access to the shadow plane. Yeah.
It's super, super cool.
The really neat idea for this one to me is find a place that you really like, make a secret base out of it. Cool. Your team has access to the door. Then you destroy everything but the door of that base.
So then from here, you've got Mind Control, Bamboozle, Jedi Mind Tricks.
I like that.
And then you got Delightful Dream, which is really, really cool because it's going to set you up for some really kind of interesting role play stuff. Like a character that's experienced something kind of hard, you can kind of like put that at ease for a little
What's your
bit.
diplomat ability?
Yeah, you're like, it's going to be okay, bud. Oh, okay, thanks.
Moving from that, Perky Profanation. This is your hypnosis. This is your hard hypnosis.
Yeah,
It's really
you can
cool.
make them go wild, just kind of like losing their mind. The ability to not just necessarily make them kind of like go crazy a little bit, but you can make them kind of like dance or just kind of be like a jerk and just start.
Yeah. The last one's Fear. I'm gonna let you take Fear because you were really excited about Fear.
So, in my opinion, I think there are 3 OP spells in this game. Fear in this, in my opinion, is definitely one of them, depending on how lucky you are with the dice. If you basically roll above an 11, between the 11 and 19, when you cast this on somebody, they're basically stuck in just this petrified, I'm super scared state for 10 minutes.
Or longer,
or,
if you roll a 20.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they can't move. If you roll a 20, it becomes a permanent state where it can completely, basically ruin this person's mind.
But 10 or below, though, it happens to you. And depending on how bad the roll is, it gets progressively worse.
From there, we've got Mayhem.
Mayhem
This
is
one's fun.
Mayhem's your damage one. On the front end.
Yeah, on the front end, or just destruction.
Yeah. It's your, oh man, some of these are so
You've got kind of like Scintillate, which is kind of very much like Jubilee's
Jubilee.
fireworks. Because you can basically kind of just make like pretty like lights and stuff like that, or you can
Make
cause
them
some
go
damage
pop.
with it. Yep.
Bedazzle's really cool. It's essentially Scintillate ramped up to 10. Does 2 damage per beam. You get 4 beams. If all 4 beams are on the same target, then it also is hit with your mesmerizing.
And then they get locked down, and you can repeat the process.
Yeah. It's not cheap, but it's really
it's not.
strong.
It's not. It's 4 AP.
Loosen's really cool. And that's the next one. It is everything in your vicinity that you can see is loosened. So if there's a bag 20 feet away and you can see it,
Shoelaces,
it opens
a
up.
shirt, a
Shoelaces.
tie.
Every armor strap is undone. Every belt is undone. Everything that has a clasp or a lock or anything like that is undone and falls open.
And then we've got Chaos Ball. I hope you've all have seen Men in Black at this point, because that's the first thing that comes to mind. You summon this little bouncy ball. You spend some AP, and it bounces, and it gets faster, and it gets faster, and it pretty much destroys everything in the room, but doesn't hurt people.
Cannot touch people.
It basically will destroy a building.
Everything.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
For a minute.
Yep.
And then it just launches itself into the atmosphere.
Yep.
It's really freaking cool. The legendaries are beyond that. The first legendary is Control. Control is interesting.
So control, for people who play D&D, it's very much kind of dominate person.
Yes.
But this has some caveats that you wouldn't have in that game traditionally. Because what control is going to allow you to do is you can cast it pretty much on anything in this game, and they will obey and listen to you without hesitation. Now, if you decide to use this ability and have it hurt someone, it ruins your character essentially and turns your character into a bad guy. I kind of look at this kind of like you've gone dark side. You're forcefully manipulating people to hurt one another.
And by the book, as soon as you harm another entity with this, you lose your character.
It's gone.
That character goes to the guide. That character becomes an NPC and is now a bad guy at some point.
Then we've got Perilous Pilot.
Peerless Pilot.
Perilous?
Perilous Pilot.
Wow. Peerless. You some little dude. He's got some balloons. He's your little transport guy. He's your little pilot.
Yeah.
You just from point A to point B.
You go, ah, it's your fast travel.
Catch a ride.
Catch a ride. There's a pimento taco in the glove box if you get hungry.
Ooh. And yeah, the basket itself has some hit
That's
points.
a pimento taco.
The balloon itself has some hit points too, but it's really just you summoning kind of like your airship kind of situation.
What you're saying is this is one of those moments.
What moment?
Catch a ride.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And then you've got Perfect Gift. Very much kind of like the Dream-esque one, but bumped up a little bit.
Yes.
You're able to basically craft a gift that is very special to the person you're giving it to. You kind of go into their mind and find something important to them.
This to me strikes me as a gimme clue, but this being a legendary and the way that they spin it is very much of a, hey, I want the story to go in this direction.
Yeah, it's going to allow the players to kind of manipulate and change something within the game itself.
Yep.
Because it's going to allow you to use this, reach in my pocket, search this person's brain.
Fix the NPC or send the NPC on this mission.
Make the big baddie realize that they're really a big baddie and they're doing wrong kind of thing. And just go rethink.
Yeah.
It's kind of neat.
The last one is Invasion.
You mean Inception?
Is it Inception?
No, it's Invasion, but it's Inception.
Oh, yeah. It's like, wait, did I read that wrong? Did I write that wrong? Yeah, this is Inception, the movie. You go into somebody's mind in a dream state. You can take as many people with you as you want to. While you're in that person's mind in the dream state, you are also catatonic. You set a trial, and then you do a boss fight based on how hard the trial is that you're trying to get them to do. Depending on how hard the seed that you're trying to plant is in their brain,
And
that boss fight scales.
Yep.
If you lose, you snap back.
The more that I look at these,
if they die, they snap back.
Yep. And when you come back, you have all your AP and everything. It is definitely worth noting that while you're in this dream state, in this fight, that
Clean slate.
Yep. You
10
have
HP,
everything.
10 AP.
You know, the more that I look at this, the more I think about it, this role has a lot of abilities that will allow you to kind of like shape the world around you.
More than most, for sure.
Yep.
For sure.
But that's our opinion. Let us know what you think.
That's the magician.
Yeah, that pretty much wraps everything up.
That's everything.
Until next time, stay awesome, be excellent, and love each other.
Yeah,
We're
we'll see
out.
you.